The Whispering Woods. Have you ever walked through a forest where every rustling leaf and crackling branch felt like it was trying to speak to you? There's a forest deep in the heart of nowhere where the trees don't just sway with the wind, they whisper. The locals call it the Whispering Woods. It's a place few dare enter, especially after sunset. They say the forest holds secrets, dark secrets, and those who listen too closely never return the same. The Whispering Woods stretch far beyond the eye can see. Towering trees, twisted and gnarled, loom overhead like silent sentinels. Beneath their canopy, the forest is shrouded in eternal twilight, a place where daylight is swallowed whole. The forest itself seems alive, its very atmosphere thick with mystery. For centuries, people have gone into these woods, drawn by its pull, only to be lost forever or to return with eyes haunted by what they heard. It wasn't always this way. Years ago, it was just a regular forest, a place for hunting, gathering, and simple walks. But that all changed one cold winter night, when a group of travelers sought shelter within its bounds. As the snowstorm raged outside, they camped under the trees, hoping for a peaceful night. But as the hours passed, something strange began to happen. A whisper, faint but distinct, seemed to rise from the very earth beneath their feet. At first, they dismissed it as the wind, but the whispers grew louder and more desperate. By morning, the travelers had vanished, and the forest had swallowed all traces of them. No footprints, no signs of a struggle, just an eerie silence. Over the years, the stories spread, and the Whispering Woods earned its reputation. Some claim the whispers are the voices of the lost souls, trapped within the forest, crying out for help. Others say the forest itself is a living entity, seeking to trap those who ventured too close. One by one, people have in turn determined to uncover the truth. But every single one of them has disappeared, or worse, returned changed. Some speak in hushed tones, their eyes wide with fear, repeating one word: listen. The whispers have only grown louder over time, now more urgent, more frantic. And the trees, they will say they're started to move, subtly, shifting in ways that don't seem natural. Many believe the forest is alive, and it's watching. Enter Jack, a young man who never believed in ghosts or legends. He had heard the stories of curse, but they were just that, stories. But when his brother Mark disappeared after a hike in the Whispering Woods, Jack's skepticism turned to determination. He needed to know what happened. He needed to find his brother, or at least understand what had taken him. With nothing but a flashlight and his wits, Jack entered the forest, just as the dusk fell. The air felt heavy, thick with anticipation, as though the forest itself was holding its breath. The deeper he ventured, the louder the whispers became, almost as if they were beckoning him forward. Listen, Jack. Suddenly, Jack stopped. There, just ahead, a figure emerged from the trees. Faint, barely visible. It was a woman, her face pale, her eyes wide with terror. She stared at him, unblinking, before whispering hoarsely, "He's here. They've taken him. Listen, you can't save him." The figure vanished into the trees before Jack could react. His heart pounded in his chest. What was going on? Was it some cruel trick of the forest? Or was there something truly sinister at work? But the whispers persisted, growing louder with every step he took. Listen, listen to the trees. The trees, they speak. The deeper Jack went, the stranger the forest became. The trees appeared to be closing in on him, their branches swaying even though there was no wind. The ground felt uneven, shifting beneath his feet, and the whispers grew more frantic. "Help us! Help us!" The air turned cold, and Jack's breath misted in front of him. He glanced around, his eyes wide with fear. Then something grabbed him, something cold and icy. His body jerked back, and his flashlight flickered. Jack screamed, but no sound came out. The whispers intensified, almost deafening, as though the forest itself was engulfing him. He turned to run, but his legs felt like lead. The whispers seemed to follow him, louder and closer. "You're one of us now. You will never leave." Jack's heart raced as he stumbled over roots and branches, the ground beneath him shifting like it was alive. In his final moments of clarity, Jack realized the truth. The forest was not haunted, it was a predator. It fed on those who dared to listen too closely to the whispers, drawing them in until they were lost forever. The souls of the lost were now part of the forest, the voices forever calling out, seeking to ensnare anyone who ventured too far. Jack tried to scream, but the forest swallowed his voice. The last thing he saw before he was consumed by the darkness was a pair of glowing eyes, staring from the depths of the woods. The next morning, Jack's backpack and flashlight were found near the edge of the whispering woods. But Jack himself was gone, just like all the others before him. His name became part of the legend, a warning for those who dared to enter. And the whispers? They're still there, waiting for the next soul to listen too closely. And remember, if you ever find yourself near the whispering woods, don't listen to the trees, because once you hear the whispers, there is no turning back.